Right now, one of the most important discovery systems for the future internet is already visible. It's YouTube. YouTube has over 2 billion logged-in users every month. It is already one of the largest search engines in the world. And now we see a new twist, because AI systems like Google Gemini, probably being the most important one in the future, increasingly rely on web-scale content to generate answers. And a large part of this content comes from YouTube, and specifically in Google's cases, YouTube Shorts. If that continues, something important changes, because YouTube is no longer just the most important global video platform. It becomes part of the discovery infrastructure of the internet, part of how both humans and machines alike decide what exists out there in the wild. And now let's think about that for a second. If content discovery happens there, where do classical OTT platforms actually exist in that system? Most OTT platforms work perfectly well, but they are invisible in the places where people actually discover content. And that is not inside the app, that's outside of it. Over the last 10 to 15 years, OTT development teams have done a great job. We have built encoding pipelines and global delivery structures, apps across all these different devices, all with strong UX and cool recommendation systems. In many cases, most cases, the technical product is solid. That is layer one, the owned product. And now the bottleneck has moved. OTT is not longer primarily a delivery problem. It's a discovery problem, because audiences don't start inside your app anymore. They start somewhere else. So let's think about OTT platforms for now in two layers. Layer one is the owned product. That is what you as a broadcaster or as a TV operator control. It's your apps, it's your UX, your recommendation system. That is where most investment goes. And in many cases, this works totally fine. And then there is layer two, the discovery system. This is where users actually find you. It's YouTube, TikTok, social video, also search and SEO, also OEM ecosystems like Samsung, Fire TV, whatever you do with your local telco, and increasingly important AI systems that surface answers and content directly. For very good reasons, historically, most OTT development teams optimized layer one, but growth now is decided in layer two. And this is why the YouTube point from the beginning matters. YouTube already acts as a search engine, a recommendation engine, and a distribution platform. And now increasingly, a training and reference layer for AI systems in the future. So if not, your content is not present there, you are not just missing some reach. You are missing visibility in the systems that define relevance in the future over the next years. Now let's look at how teams actually invest. In most OTT projects, the focus is very clear. More platforms, more integrations, better performance, incremental UX improvements. These are all important, but that are marginal gains. To make this concrete, when you decide to optimize, to integrate your service on one more CTV platform, if you are lucky, you might gain 5 to 8% additional technical reach. That's a good outcome. But at the same time, there is often enough no structured discovery system in place, no real systematic investment into YouTube as a distribution channel, content designed for external discovery, into search visibility, or into CRM and marketing orchestration, or your systematic data plane that you operate. So the real question is, what creates more impact? Another few percent of technical reach, remember, it's only technical reach, not usage, or a system that consistently drives discovery and demand. That's not a mistake. It's that we proceed that way. It's more structural, because OTT projects usually are scoped as delivery projects, and product and marketing are separated, while the solution provider you work with focuses naturally on platforms, not growth systems. So content discovery becomes a campaign, a budget discussion, or short-term initiative, instead of a system that compounds over time. Creators, on the other hand, operate differently. They don't separate product and discovery. Every piece of content they do does three things at once. It is content, it is distribution, and it is user acquisition. OTT development teams still separate these functions, and that is why creators build reach over time, and OTT platforms often have to buy it. AI-driven discovery now accelerates this shift. If systems increasingly generate answers instead of links and rely on structured, accessible content and prioritize what is already visible out there in the internet, then visibility is decided way earlier, before the user even searches. But that's not a new category. It is a continuation of the same pattern, discovery moving outside your product. So as a broadcaster or as a TV operator, TV platform operator, what should you do? Number one, if your roadmap is dominated by platform features, rebalance towards discovery systems, because growth happens outside your app. Number two, if YouTube sits on your marketing budget, treat it as distribution, because that is where discovery happens. And three, if your platform exists only inside your app, you are invisible where usage decisions are actually made, because discovery happens elsewhere. Most OTT platforms are invisible by design, not because the product is bad, but because the system that makes them discoverable was never built. So what? If most of your discovery still depends on users opening your app first, you are not competing on the layer that decides growth.